Not too long ago on the Pat McAfee show, Rivers got the whole internet buzzing whenever he claimed that he could take 30 current NBA players and have them balling out on the gridiron in the NFL.
I could take 30 players right now in the NBA and throw them in the NFL.
Sounds somewhat reasonable, right? But here's where Rivers really turned up the heat. He didn't stop there. Nope, he even doubled down by saying you cannot take 30 NFL players and have them hoop it up in the NBA.
NFL, you cannot take 30 NFL players and put them in the NBA.
Whoa. That's crazy for a hot take. And, you know, it kind of got me thinking, could some of today's ultra-athletic NFL freaks actually have what it takes to maybe make a splash in basketball at the next highest level? Well, let's find out. But first, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So, starting off with one of the more stupidly athletic freaks in the NFL, Lamar freaking Jackson. Look, there's a dude here who's dropping 40 pieces on the regular if he's crossing fools up on the court instead of shredding defenses. Just close your eyes for a second and just picture it real quick. Lamar blowing by his defender with his blazing speed for a furious one-handed tomahawk slam, or him tossing a full court dime to a streaking teammate for an effortless alley-oop. With his combination of quickness, leaping ability, and court vision, he'd be dropping double-doubles like it's nothing. The only real downside here, though, for Lamar is going to be that the NBA would be his lack of size against him, as most of the big wings and trees are patrolling the paint. But hey, who cares? One look at Russell Westbrook, and you know pure dog athleticism can be more than made up for in modest height. Look, I'm telling you folks, the league wouldn't be ready for Lamar's full arsenal of crossovers, step backs, and posterizing hammer throws. Pretty sure the NBA rulebook doesn't exactly count for a point guard that violently is an explosive unit. Next up, let's take a trip and pay a visit to Kyler Murray out there in the desert with the Cardinals. If this 5'10 firecracker played in the NBA instead of the NFL, we'd be calling him the human flamethrower. Kyler was out busy cooking dudes in high school on the basketball court before he chose to take his talents to the gridiron. My dude legit had interest from big-time college hoop programs like Oklahoma and Texas before picking up the pigskin, and on top of it all, he's got himself a serious scorer's mentality, along with a silky smooth handle you've never ever seen on a player under 6 feet. Just picture this. Kyler and Chris Paul running an endless stream of pick and rolls, and along with CP3 barking out orders and Murray using his lightning speed to blow past any big man. Or even Kyler spotting up for a 3 off the drive and kick after his man goes under the screen. His point would totally make Damian Lillard blush. The biggest concern to factor in here though for Kyler would be that 5'10 frame holding up over the grind of 82 games, but don't you dare sleep on the little man's game. We have decades of examples like AI, Muggsy Bogues, and even Spud Webb all proving that small don't mean liabilities if you got superpowers in other areas. I'm just spitballing here, but can you even imagine Kyler and Lamar as a dynamic duo of the mini hustle and mini muscle in the backcourt? Seriously, that is just a must-see TV thing right there. Although, I guess it'd be more like a mini hustle and mini portable muscle factory at this point, but hey, who's really counting, right? Alright, enough with these small fry guards for now. Let's go big and boost it up to talk about some super-sized NFL steamrollers who could absolutely feast on undersized NBA forecourts. And look, I'm not just talking about your typical shove-around big guys with no skills. Looking at you, Shaq. These dudes have legitimately coordinated footwork, at least for their size. First up, we got 6'6", 325-pound Lane Johnson out of Philly. Yeah, look, I know he's an offensive lineman, but just stick with me for like 5 minutes here. This absolute monster of a man out on the island would be like a young, hyper-athletic mix of Dwight Howard and Shaquille O'Neal. Look, I get it. You're probably thinking, there's no way a big lunk with sledgehammer hands could thrive in the NBA. But get this. Lane was actually a quarterback of all things in high school, which means that he's got way more athletic pedigree than your typical mauler in the trenches. And with the right coaching, this mammoth could easily become a legend in the Center Hall of Fame, with the likes of Bill Walton or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the pick and roll game as an absolute nightmare roll man, posting up and getting bucket after bucket after bucket. For real, could you imagine the raw power of Lane establishing ridiculous deep post positions and then busting out a vintage dream shake on some poor sap? Man, the league would be shook. And you know he'd be absolutely gobbling up rebounds and putbacks off that cynical tree trunk frame of his. The whole bring the shooter crashing down on a pump fake package too? Yeah, look out for that one. Speaking of massive humans bringing down shockwaves and thunderous destruction to the paint arena, let's talk about Myles Garrett for a second. This guy's another super freak in the 6'4", 272-pound range that would make the entire league put him in the Fred Jones protocol just to be safe. You know, Garrett has the most ferocious pass rusher in the NFL, using his crazy length, explosiveness, and agility to wreck offensive tackles for a living. But what if you might not know that Myles is actually an absolute hooper back in high school, going for 20 and 10 every single night as a domineering power forward? With his physical tools, dude would be kind of like a legitimate Giannis light in the league. Although not quite the ball handling master, but still, that size with supreme leaping ability, nimble feet, and pterodactyl wingspan? Sheesh! I'm just getting scared thinking about that pullback slam and weak side rejection that he'd be dishing out on the regular. If Myles could end up buying into an old school banger mentality of nonstop screens and roll duties while snatching every board in sight and protecting the rim, his defensive impact alone would make him an all-star. Now, he might not have Giannis out of this world skill levels, sure, but Garrett's functional strength and athleticism combo would still have him haunting backboards and guards' nightmares for years. Now, this next one is a little bit outside of the box, but hey, hear me out. Cordarrelle Patterson of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, my dude might have low-key some Dwayne Wade, Donovan Mitchell type upside if he took his talents to the hardwood. And look, I already know what you're thinking here. He's only 6'2", and that's pretty small for a wing in the NBA, but Cordarrelle is an absurd 220 pounds of pure USDA man muscle and explosiveness. You know those rare cases where insane athleticism can make up for a lack of height? Well, think about Danny Granger, Nate Robinson level craziness from Patterson if he were to play basketball. Back in high school, the dude was a bona fide hooper, putting up big time scoring numbers as a combo guard. And over his NFL career, teams have been moving him all over the place using his ridiculous versatility, lining him up as a running back, receiver, even taking some wildcat quarterback snaps at times. The point here is this. Patterson is a straight mutt on the field, so just imagine how his tenacity and attack mentality would translate to being a supercharged defensive stopper, rim runner, and transition nightmare on the court. I'm talking posters, aggressive and-one finishes at the cup, streaking out to the break and taking it coast to coast, the whole 9 yards. You know Patterson wouldn't back down from anybody either. If he brought that same enforcer attitude to the hardwood as he brings to the gridiron, we'd be seeing instant all blacktop classic material. Somebody better bolt down those courtside seats. All right, enough with the freak of nature musings for a second. Let me give you a real quick shout out to a master technician who I low-key think would have a really solid pro hoops career. Cooper freaking Kupp. The white dude who looks like the math genius from every 80s high school movie? Exactly. Ding, 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 ding. Got it right. Which is why his crazy basketball skills from back in the day get totally slept on. You see, before he was torching NFL defensive backs, Cooper was an absolute bucket-getting hooper back in Washington. We're talking the full package here. Silky smooth jumpers, high IQ, crafty finishes around the rim, you name it. Kupp was straight up sauce on the hardwood. For real, his old school scouting reports gave his ultra high basketball IQ and court awareness too. The ultimate glue that every team covets. Sadly though, Coop ended up deciding to pursue his love of football over hoops, which is probably for the best considering he's already a Super Bowl champion getting paid in the NFL. But just imagine real quick with me for a second, him being a turbocharged JJ Redick type bomber who could also play make and finish around the 10. That's an easy 15 points, 5 dimes, and infinite intangibles right there. All right, I could seriously geek out and go all day about this, but I'll spare you the extra long talk for now. So let's go ahead and do a real quick fire round of some other fun "what if they took hoops instead" candidates from the NFL ranks. Jalen Waddle, think a shorter, more explosive Donovan Mitchell type super athlete. Derwin James Jr., a new age Draymond defensive menace who could also run the break. CeeDee Lamb, high-flying transition Fisher in the old Dominique Wilkins mold. Nisa Bossa, a more mobile, rangier version of the peak Dwight Howard. Deebo Samuel, the second coming of relentless bully ball beast Zach Randolph. You get my point here, but the amount of physical freaks currently doing their thing in the NFL is really mind-blowing. And while precious few have the legit basketball foundation to realistically pull off that high-level two-sport excellence, it's still a blast to imagine the possibilities. So that's pretty much a wrap for this athletic what-if spectacular. I know it's a long shot, but maybe this video will inspire one of these genetic lottery winners to actually pursue hoops for real in some alternate dimension or something. Hey, crazier things have happened, right? Alrighty folks, that is what I have all for today's ridiculousness. Go ahead and smash that like button if you enjoyed me going down this wild crossover rabbit hole, and be sure to subscribe for more way off the wall, but still somewhat plausible and rooted in reality sports tangents.